Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. My name is Renee if you're new. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. So we're going to talk about the law of attraction and new age thought and spirituality and all that stuff. That was my channel a year, 2 years ago. I started this channel as like just honestly to be like a fun creative outlet for me. I really liked YouTubers and YouTube and I thought it would be fun to like start a channel. It wasn't until I started getting into spirituality content that I felt like a lot of you guys gravitated towards my channel and like got some great things from. With that, I felt compelled to like do more research and dive into the spirituality world because I felt at the time like my life was changing and like I discovered something that I felt the need to share to other people. It kind of just became this, it became my channel. It was, my content was mainly like spirituality, Manifestation Wednesday videos, and I no longer really make those videos. I kind of want to explain to you guys why, but before I get into the video, I just want to remind you that this is my opinion, this is my story, my journey. A lot of you guys requested this video. I am not trying to push my views on you. If you are a very spiritual person or like what I am explaining that I no longer am, to each their own. Everyone lives a different lifestyle. This is just my personal opinion based on what I've been through with spirituality, and I am not trying to push that on people at all, nor am I judging you for having a certain lifestyle. This is just my story. I have like a whole sheet of paper of things that I want to talk about on this video, so if I keep looking down, it's just me looking down at my paper. So I used to do law of attraction content, like I just said, and when I stopped doing law of attraction content, like law of attraction stuff, practices, research, YouTube videos, I found in my life shit started happening. I started doing more and I saw more progression without it than I did with it. Instead of fantasizing about my life, I was actually living my life. And I stopped really buying into this lifestyle because I see a lot of people who take advantage of this because it's now become almost like a trend, a lifestyle. Like if you guys watch You on Netflix, like that's literally to me what it's become. Like it's like the cool thing to do, you know? And when I first started doing like spirituality content, I didn't see a lot of spirituality stuff on YouTube. I was watching a vlogger, a daily vlogger who's like now a family vlogger, and she had mentioned like The Secret. And then when I got that book, I read that book, and that's kind of what dove me into like more research. So I wasn't like stumbling upon like law of attraction content or spirituality content on YouTube. It was just something that came into my life, and then I read a book, and then after that I kind of just spun into it. So it wasn't like a big thing when I was talking about it. Now that spirituality has become more of like a trend or like a cool thing to do, I see a lot of people morphing into this spiritual person that they weren't years ago, which I feel like obviously sometimes like that's what happened to me, is like I wasn't spiritual at all. I learned about it and I became that. But a lot of people are doing it now for a trend, to be trendy. It's not something that they personally believe in, and I'm gonna get into all of this as like how I personally see these people. So I'm not saying everyone who does spirituality is like a hoax, but there's a lot of people who do it, you know, to make money or to get lots of views on, you know, YouTube. I wrote down some stuff that I did get from spirituality. Spirituality has been nothing but a great experience for me, and new age thought and like learning about the law of attraction has brought me so many good things. It's not all negative. I learned about positivity and being positive in general. Gratitude is a huge thing that I shifted my focus onto that helped me change for the better. Hope, excitement, trust, energy, and like oneness. And these things are all great to have, but I've realized these things don't make stuff happen like a lot of spiritual people or law of attraction thought says happens. It makes the process a little bit more enjoyable. I think it's a great way to have a happier, more fulfilling life, but I don't think these things necessarily make stuff happen. Life is gonna happen no matter what, and if you think this way, you're gonna enjoy the process more, and if you don't, obviously you're probably gonna hate the process. That stuff leaks into other parts of your life. So if you're just like in a negative, down mood, like that's gonna affect your life elsewhere like that because you're bringing that energy with it. So when you are all these things, obviously it will make your life better, but it doesn't necessarily work like magic, which a lot of people I'll get into. So I wrote down some points here of things that I no longer align with, why I no longer align with them. So the first one is the fictional escapism. It reminds me of like religion. I am not a religious person. I see personally, this is my opinion, religion as not a good thing for society. A lot of people become like too extreme with it, or they become judgmental, or they believe that their way is the only way and that their belief system is factual, which to me just brings up a lot of problems in society. So I personally don't believe in religion. I feel like religion does more harm than good, but I am not judging you if you're a religious person. I have a lot of super religious people in my life. I love them. I'm not saying all religious people and all religions are bad, but I don't see religion as something that is necessarily good either. I believe that people go towards religion and this new age thought and spirituality and law of attraction as a way to escape reality, because, you know, it brings faith and hope and naiveness into a situation that we wouldn't otherwise be able to process internally. So it just kind of is a way to go through life without necessarily being a part of it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how to explain this in a way where I'm trying not to come across as like judgmental, or I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or anything, but this is just how I personally view it. And if you guys want to have a conversation too, I'm totally down. Like, if you're open to communicating with me and maybe explaining if you are a religious person or you don't agree with my beliefs, I would love to have a conversation with you and talk about it, because I'm not saying this is my way. Obviously my opinions are going to shift and change. So if you guys have a way to describe maybe communicate how I'm feeling and maybe aligning it with what you believe in a positive way without trying to push your opinion on me, that would be great. So feel free to talk about whatever I'm talking about in the comments. Just keep it friendly and keep it open. With religion, I believe there's obviously like good messages in religion, and there's a lot of self-awareness opportunities that come with religion, but I feel that it becomes toxic sometimes to society. It becomes like more of a trend. If you're not part of like the box that your religion says you are, they become often judgmental, and it detaches you from the physical world that we're living in. And again, this is just my belief. I feel like I shouldn't even be saying this, because I really hope religion is such an iffy topic, because people believe in their beliefs so much that it's like, I feel like any little questioning with it can be seen as me being judgmental, which I don't want to be at all. This is way tougher than I thought it was gonna be. I believe, like, if there is a God, or if there is like this universal power, like a different dimension or spiritual realm, if we are on this earth, I feel like we should take with it what we're supposed to get from it. Like, if we're here for a reason, like, why don't we live in this world and focus on our reality and what we can take from it? Because obviously we're here for a reason. So why would we sit there and escape into this fictional fantasy world that people kind of portray new age and spirituality to be? That's my personal opinion. And I'm not right. I don't believe I'm right 100%. This is just how I'm kind of trying to understand this crazy weird world. I feel like with spirituality and stuff, people create things that aren't necessarily there. So for example, like signs, like I have that spiritual side of me, and I'm still like, if I see 1111, I feel like, oh, okay, that's like a good thing. But you know, you can honestly make signs out of anything. Like, you can literally just create a sign out of whatever you want to get from the signs. So if you're looking for a yes, you can find signs to look for yes. If you're looking for a no, you can find and manipulate situations to make that sign look like a no. It's like when you want a car, all of a sudden you start seeing them everywhere, because like that's what you're focusing on. I feel like that's part of the fictional escapism of like how we're trying to understand our lives. A lot of spirituality people, including myself, like when I say spirituality people or people in general, like I'm including myself in this, so don't think that I'm like separating myself from like the general people. People are constantly looking for meaning to justify their actions sometimes without taking ownership of their actions, and spirituality is a very blinding way of thinking, because when we find excuses for our actions, that's almost like just not owning up to certain behavior that you had because you see a sign, or because there's like more meaning to life than what it just simply is. So the second thing that I've realized in spirituality is that there's a lot of unnecessary fluff. I have wasted a lot of my time, you know, visualizing, doing manifestation boards, making affirmations, all these crazy things to get myself to be somewhere in life without necessarily taking the like execution action plan to get there. I was just kind of like dreaming about it. I'm a very raw, straight to the point person, so when I look back at some of the videos that I did when I was like more spiritual or like bought into that world, I'm like, you're not doing anything. Like, you're literally just wasting your time sitting here fantasizing about doing stuff than actually going out and doing stuff. And again, you're making it much more of a thing than it needs to be. You create this huge dream out of something that could be simply achieved by just doing it. Another thing that I found is the trendiness of it all, how it's become the optimal lifestyle. I tend to not follow the crowd. I find when I like something and it becomes trendy, I tend to like veer away from it. Like, anything that's trendy, I've learned is, honestly, I'm gonna say it, a scam. I was in business school, I have my business degree, and when I was in marketing, I realized a lot of how the market skews things to look a certain way and it becomes a trend. So for example, when I see like these fad diets and stuff, all of a sudden become the key word in a lot of products presentation, and you see it plastered everywhere. That's like a sign for me to be like, okay, something's not right here, because obviously they're making a lot of money from this. They're throwing that word on everything. So to me, it's just a trend, and trends go in and out. Spirituality has become a trend. That's just inevitable. When I started, again, it wasn't necessarily a trend. It was more of like a lifestyle, and there was like a small community, but now it's just become this thing. Like, it's almost like cool to like throw out the words manifest and visualize and, you know, meditation, which I think there's benefits in them, especially like meditation. But when you use it as a trend, to me, that's where it gets off balance, and I no longer really buy into it. So again, people will sell it, they flaunt it, and it's just not my style. There's, you know, the words woke, manifest, people who are doing yoga all of a sudden to look like you're doing yoga. You know, tarot, crystals, chakras, all this stuff. It's almost like going to these music festivals to go get a picture rather than like going there because you actually like vibe with the music. Like, you see that a lot in like Coachella. Everyone goes to Coachella, and guess what? They're all just like taking pictures. Probably very few people who actually go there and like vibe to the music, put their phone down, and don't post any pictures, and they're just going there because they genuinely love the music, you know? So that's kind of how I look at spirituality now, and I don't really want to be a part of it. Like, a lot of people will throw out the word to sell something or to get views, or to almost manipulate the average person to believe that because they have a certain lifestyle, everyone can achieve it through visualizing and, you know, dreaming and all this stuff, which I totally believed, which is like, I almost feel like scammy in a way, but at the times that I made those videos, I truly 100% believed in it. Anytime that I ever made a video, I'm not gonna lie, I would use words like manifest and, you know, dream life and stuff like that to attract people to click on the videos. But if you ever go through my old videos, nowhere in there was I ever in like a La La Land dream state or trying to manipulate the person who was watching my video to think that if they just dream about it, they'll manifest it. I was like that, obviously, probably from the beginning, because I was just new into spirituality, but the more and more I dove into it, I understood how fake it was. For example, like a good video would be like, how to attract love was a video that I made. And when you click on it, like, obviously a lot of people who make these certain videos, how to attract love, will say things like, you just need to think of the thought and repeat it over and over and meditate on it and like release it and let it go, and then it'll just randomly magically come to you. And that's not how my video went. Like, I just wanted to make a point, especially in that video, that I made so many valid points in that video, but I wanted it to stay true and not fake. I'm not trying to sell a way of thinking. I'm trying to sell a way to communicate to your loved one, or how to like understand different people. Like, my main goal and the ends of my like law of attraction content was to be as real as possible and not manipulate and control what people are getting from my videos. And a lot of the times that's kind of not really what people want. People want that magical like confirmation that your dreams are going to come true if you like write them on your mirror and see them every day. And it's just, they almost want that for validation and to feel comfort and knowing that there is magic. You know, like there is good out there and like energy and vibes and like all this stuff, but I personally don't really believe that. Like you can't always strive for the easy way, and a lot of the times those easy ways and what people are saying are very false. Another thing is the overthinking about it. A lot of what New Age thought pushes out there is to think positive thoughts. Think positively, positive thinking only. If you think negatively, you will manifest negative things in your life, which I believe is true to an extent, but it's not how they describe it. When you are constantly thinking about your emotions, you create guilt and pressure around your emotions. I have a whole video about emotions in general that I feel like if you're struggling with that, go watch, because there's a benefit in every single emotion that we have. We have anger for a reason. We have sadness for a reason. Like we have disgust for a reason. There is a benefit in us having these emotions, and to sit there and pressure ourselves into not feeling this way or to strive for one emotion our entire life is so toxic. It almost places you in a position to be at war with yourself, and I just found it so unhealthy to sit there and analyze every freaking emotion that we had, and I hated that part of it. I hated that part of it. Obviously I didn't know until I kind of took a step back and saw. Like when I look at these videos, sometimes I like cringe, honestly. The next thing is that people who sell spirituality are the most materialistic and egotistical people that I've ever seen. And this one I am not talking about myself. I've never been a materialistic person. I love material things. Like I obviously, like, who doesn't want a nice house and a nice car and stuff like that, but I don't live my life to buy or attain these things. To me, that is so not what I'm about. I hate that. People who are in this spiritual world, again, are selling things, so they write things like how to change your appearance with the law of attraction, which to me is the most disgusting thing you can ever put out there, because why are you sitting there trying to promote people to look different than who they are? Why aren't you... This is where I get a little bit judgmental and angry, which I'm trying to work on. But to me, it's just sick. It's so sick. How to manifest a text from this specific person. How to manifest money. Totally have done that. How to manifest a specific person, like... Or they'll have like these manifestation stories and they manifest like a car, or they'll manifest just things that don't freaking matter, you know, in the long run. And it's just, I totally bought into it. I totally bought into it. And that's just not who I am. The more I actually dove into spirituality books, I've realized how many of these people are just like actually the opposite. Talk about spirituality, like awakenings. The average person is here. When you dive into spirituality, you go over here. But you can also dive into spirituality and go down here because you're doing it completely for the wrong reasons. That's where like the big egos come out of, thinking that they're almost superior to other people because they are more spiritual than them. You live a better lifestyle because you're one with nature and one with the spiritual side of the world, so other people just aren't as woke as you. And there's just an egotistical nature about spirituality that I don't like. There's an article that I really highly recommend to read. I'll pop it down below, but it's 10 spiritual things people do that are total bullshit. Participate in spiritual activities to make themselves feel more superior than other people. Using spirituality as a justification for failing to take responsibility for their actions. Adopting new hobbies, interests, and beliefs simply because they're the latest spiritual fad. Judge others for expressing anger or even strong emotions even when it's necessary to do so. Using spirituality as a justification for excessive drug use. Overemphasize positivity in order to avoid looking at the problems in their lives and in the world. Like it's really good. Highly, highly recommend to read that. The next point that I have is that it's a lot of obsessive daydreaming. So again, it's like a fantasy land, it's an illusion. I am not that style of person. I'm like more of a scientific person. I feel like I've become is like I need factual evidence. I'm not a like a La La Land type of person. It becomes almost an illusion where you start detaching yourself from reality. But the problem of the daydreaming, what I feel, is that you fantasize when you're comfortable. When you're sitting at home and you have nothing to do, and you watch all these YouTube videos about manifesting and all this stuff, and you decide, I'm gonna do it, you're in a comfortable position to make a vision board, a manifestation plan, affirmations. Like, you're comfortable right now. When you are comfortable, that's very easy to make plans and to sit there and say you're gonna do stuff and dream about it and get excited about it, but that's not actually doing anything. When you take action, that's what takes you out of your comfort zone, and it pushes you to make logical decisions and pushes yourself to accomplishment. I wrote down here, it's one thing to visualize in your head and it's another to execute it in real life. So I'm just not for that. Also, it's very selfish. We are daydreaming about getting a car, manifesting a text from a loved one, manifesting money. There's people out there in the world that are living in like deep poverty, people who don't have access to clean water. It's just so like, I feel like when I was spiritual, if you will, I thought the world revolved around me and my problems, but the world is so much bigger than your world and your problems and your mind. This is not your world. We share this world with a lot of different people and animals and nature, and it's so much bigger than, you know, aligning your chakras, you know? And then I also wrote down that a lot of spirituality comes from hearing about or reading about other people's journeys rather than doing it yourself. So this is where I think a lot comes in correlation to how I feel about religion, is that there's a book given to you, or there's a teaching given to you, or you read about whatever you're reading about, and all of those things are great to take in, and I feel like you can take a lot from them, but you're learning from other people's stories. And I'm the type of person where I need to experience life for what it is in order to make up what I feel about my journey on this earth. And a lot of spirituality comes from hearsay or reading books, and you just all of a sudden think that you know the world. But if you are trying to get life advice from a wise person, would you rather get it from someone who read a million books on other people's spiritual journeys and have done nothing in their life to learn these things on their own? Or would you rather talk to a 100-year-old man that's been through war and all different parts of life, experiences? Like, obviously the person who's been through shit I would rather learn from. That's what wise is when you've lived your life and you've been through ups and downs and you've experienced so much in your life and been around so many different people and cultures. That's what I want to learn from. I don't really care what you read in a book. You know, that's where I feel like I now stand, which is so weird, because a year ago, if you talked to me, I would sit there and push manifesting onto you and push positive thinking and push books on you, and I still read and I still do spirituality stuff. I love, you know, astrology. I don't necessarily believe in it 100%, but it's fun. If I had an opportunity to get a reading done by a psychic, fuck yeah, like I feel like that'd be interesting. And like a part of me wants to believe it and a part of me believes it, but a bigger part of me believes it's not true and that we're maybe overcomplicating the process. I want to live my life. I don't want to sit there and create meaning in unnecessary things, create unnecessary fluff, sell an idea to people that I don't truly believe in 100%, manipulate people, and fake my way through life. I want to live physically in this world. I want to take it for what it's worth. I want to feel all my emotions and learn from every single experience that I've learned from. There's a quote that I want to end this video on that I actually came across this morning. There's like different types of spiritually woke people, and again, I'll leave it's from an article. There's 4 different types, right? And there's like one that's you're actually spiritually awoken. True spirituality is beyond illusion of seeking more, wanting more, calling for God to save you, worshiping deities, having spiritual objects around you, being good at yoga, having tattoos, playing with the illusion through magical thinking, displaying your amazing spiritual powers, or controlling reality and people through your mind. All these are dreams and not awakening. Looking for anything outside or in your mind to make life more fulfilling is illusion, because we are still in the mental matrix, creating our own illusions and attracting only illusions. We are all awakening right now. That's kind of sums up what I've been feeling and why I no longer make Manifestation Wednesday videos and no longer align with that lifestyle. So again, I really hope that I didn't offend anybody. I hope you guys still trust me and get things from my videos that you probably got back then. Like, I just want to make people feel good when they watch my videos. That's my only goal, and I feel like I had that intention with my spiritual content, and I still have that intention now. I always wanted to be real and authentic, which again, I felt when I made those videos, I was being very real and honest and authentic. I've just, you know, grown from that era in my life, and I think you can still get a ton, I still probably can get a ton of really good information from those videos, and I'm gonna keep them up because I feel like I displayed my spirituality in the correct way and the way that I want to be perceived as. But I have changed and I no longer really align with that lifestyle, and that's okay. Like, everyone's gonna be changing, you know, everyone's gonna be evolving as we grow, and I only hope that I'm evolving in a good way, and I hope that you guys are doing the same. I don't want this video to sway your opinion. I don't want this video to like make people believe the way I believe. This is just simply a video that I felt like I needed to make because a lot of you guys asked for it, first of all, but second of all, my content is changing and this is our channel, so I don't want you guys to think that I want you guys to know why we no longer make those videos. So yeah, that's the video. Oh God, I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you guys didn't agree, don't forget, comment down below. I would love to have a discussion with you. A lot of you guys commented your opinions on my things to get rid of for the new year video, which again, I had a lot of like strong opinionated ways of thinking in that video, and a lot of you guys disagreed with me, and you disagreed in a very healthy way. You guys explained your opinion without bashing my opinion, and you said, you know, I don't agree with you on this point because X, Y, and Z, and a lot of you guys did shift my mindset. So if you have something to say, just try to be as healthy as you can. I feel like in today's world, everyone has a very strong opinion, and the problem that we're having is that everyone's trying to push their opinion onto other people because they believe that it's right. I don't believe I'm right. I don't believe you're right. I don't believe anyone is right. I don't think anyone knows everything, obviously. So why would you push your opinions as if you do? And again, everyone has different lifestyles and different backgrounds, different ways of growing up. So the way I think is definitely not going to be the same way that you think because we didn't grow up the same way. We didn't grow up with the same surroundings. We don't have the same brain. We don't think the same way. So just keep that in mind. But if you want to have a discussion, a healthy conversation, I'm down if you are. So love you guys. Thanks for watching. I guess you would call this a Manifestation Wednesday video. Yep. I'll see you guys all in a future video. I don't know what this was. Bye guys.